Rogue, it means it's like it's out on its own. It's not following orders. It's doing its own thing. With a renegade follicle.
That's very weird.
You
It's
think
funny.
weird?
It's funny. It's funny. You're
You're
funny.
laughing so loud.
You're
well,
so funny.
I've been told that before. Thank you. Anyway, welcome back to the Love Movement, people.
You sound very asleep, so let's start
I
that.
sound asleep?
You sound like Let's start from the beginning.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Love Movement podcast. I'm your host, Steve B. in the morning, joined as always by the lovely Betty B.
That sounds more romantic. You
Romantic.
have like a romantic.
Sponsored
tone.
by Tampax.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, we're back. We took a little...
Welcome back. You see, that's the type of energy you want to hear.
Oh,
You don't want to
okay.
go like. You'll fall asleep. They say, this is such a boring thing to listen to. No, you have to give them all the vibes.
No, I get that, but I also don't want to be insincere. Like I don't want to be fake, because sometimes if you force
So
it,
you do not have the energy. You do not feel happy. What is it? Marriage life?
I don't know anything you're saying right now.
Why you're not? You
No, that's
sound
not my
happy.
personality.
You're very 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 gloomy
Excuse me.
person. Very sad. Very like yeah, that's true. That's more you. We should stay true to what we truly are. I'm sunshine, and you're like more of like the little cloud.
Yeah, you're
a
the
little gloomy, a little
Tita
gray.
Peppa. What is that?
Tia Pepa.
Tia Peppa.
No.
Anybody see Encanto, the Disney movie?
Encanto. Of course, they have seen it, and of course, anybody that knows me knows that I am, in fact, like Tia Pepa.
The girl, her
I
power was
get-
that her emotions would dictate the weather.
Yeah, I'm very emotional, but there's a lot of sunshine this way. Just saying. Just saying.
When those clouds roll in.
Okay, don't make me get angry. You're the only one that brings the thunder. My friends get all the sunshine because they're so sweet and nice to me.
As long as you guys can read the sarcasm.
Whatever. You see, you're starting to put some clouds in my sunshine today.
Yeah. Even though you just sat there and called me gloomy and dour and dry.
Sometimes you're like that and cold, like a winter morning.
It's funny, since we took 2 weeks off, someone reached out to me and was like, "Yeah, is everything cool, you guys?" I was like,
We're breaking up.
Like 1 week I get, but 2 weeks in a row, is everything all right? It's like, no, we're cool. It's just busy.
It's my birthday.
Yeah,
I
we
had a birthday.
Betty's birthday. Congratulations.
Thank you.
41 years old.
You see? You see how you make the thunder come back? That's not cool.
But seriously, Betty did have a birthday, which we celebrated. I hope she enjoyed it.
I
Did you?
had an amazing birthday because it was not just one day. I had celebrations all over the place. At my job, they were so sweet and nice to me. They decorated the desk. I got gifts from people that I was not even expecting. It was beautiful all around it. Beautiful surprises. I had surprises here at home. You came up with this beautiful idea that made me cry, happy tears, and I cannot complain. I was very spoiled and very loved.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you very much.
So,
And look at this.
oh yeah, that's a little souvenir from Universal.
Okay, he got me this mug because he said this is you when you first wake up and you don't have coffee. Beautiful, huh? I know.
I don't remember
You're
saying that.
you're very honest, and that's what I love about you. It's me crazy. It really, really drives me crazy sometimes. But then again, I remind myself he's just being honest, and I appreciate that. And sometimes, isn't it true? Sometimes I got mad to him and said, "When was it? I told you you need to lie sometimes. You know, this is not nice." We were watching a movie, I think it's a Jackie Chan movie, and he falls in love with the neighbor. I think she has three
Oh, the
kids.
spy next door.
Okay, we're married. We're watching this movie at home, and this is my question. That why would I ask this question? That's a good point. We're watching this movie.
Yeah, that's a whole nother episode right there.
We're watching this movie, and I ask him, "Oh, baby, that is so sweet. You see, he fell in love with her and has three kids. She has three kids, single mother, three kids. That's love right there. You have it so easy. I only have one kid." And I said, "Well, be honest. If I had three kids, would you have still married me?" And he was so honest that he said, "Nope." And I was like, "Oh my God." That broke my heart right there.
I have been in trouble with you both for lying and telling the truth.
I know. But that was you
You
should
do you
be in
understand
love. You
mixed
should be in
messages?
love with me. You should be in love with me. Even if I had 1,000 kids, you should still want to marry me. You should still want to be with me. And I'm thinking, now that he knows me, now that he's in love with me, it's easy to answer, yes, baby, even if you had 5 kids. Apparently, no. The love is not that big, right? Whatever. Moving on. Don't answer that. Don't answer that. Thank you.
I thought it felt wrong to lie. You told me to tell the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true.
Careful what you wish for.
And then he tells me, "Why do you ask these questions that you don't want to hear the answer?"
That is the thing. Why do women ask questions that they know they don't want to hear the answer?
Well, I didn't know that I was not going to like the answer.
You didn't know?
No, I was expecting that you were going to answer something that I would like.
Well, that's your fault.
I know it is.
Oh, okay.
Whatever, this is not going to end well.
Yeah, you brought
I'm
it
not
up.
liking your attitude,
brought it
mister. You have a attitude problem today.
I don't have any attitude problem today. It's been a good day so far.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I told you to hurry up because we got a late start today.
Number 1, you didn't use the safe word. Number 2,
The safe word doesn't work.
Number 2, I
Doesn't work.
don't like on my day off to be running around like it's a regular day for me. I run around every day, Monday to Friday. On Saturdays, I want to be free and pressure free. You know this. That's why we have a safe word. You don't use it.
Because you don't listen to it. I tell you the safe word, and yeah, you wipe your ass with the safe word.
Okay, let's get into it because they don't want to hear us fighting.
I would think that they do want to hear it.
Fighting?
We're not fighting. We're having a conversation.
We're having a little bit of a disagreement. I'm not very happy at you right now. You're not very happy at me right now. So I would say that's like arguing.
We came in to tell you guys this is our last episode. We're done after this.
Yeah,
No,
we're breaking
seriously.
up. We are breaking up because this is hard. Keeping up with you is hard, mister, okay?
Baby, I just live in the real world. That's all.
So I'm going to
That's all it is.
remarried and I'm going to have 2 more kids because I'm still young, wild, and free. Just putting it out there.
Yeah. Good luck. I wish you the best of luck.
Oh my God, you don't think I have what it takes? You don't think nobody? You don't think I'm capable of remarrying?
That's not at all what I was wishing you luck on.
Oh.
I was wishing you luck on those extra kids.
Oh, that, yeah. That's true.
Shout out to your friend Mirna. 4 kids running around.
She has good quality. DNA, body, cells, all of that in her is pretty healthy. Mine, I think I was designed to have only 1 kid.
Wow, you have 2.
I know, but the second one, it was a struggle.
Well, that was COVID related.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not your fault. Which, by
My
the way,
body was
COVID,
giving up on me.
There's I've been reading a lot of research that we talked about that COVID during pregnancy really does have legit side effects. Which
Not on the
reports that
baby.
not
They
on,
say
well,
not on the baby.
on the pregnancy.
On the mother.
Yeah, like they said that the COVID attacks the placenta,
Yeah,
not
that's
necessarily
true.
the baby itself.
But at the end of the
which-
day, that's harming the baby.
It's harming, the baby,
Mhm.
and it can lead to preterm birth and stillbirth. So we got very lucky.
That's my biggest fear.
We got very lucky. But anyway, let's get into Chismecito.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about Kanye West, who
Is it bad that I start cracking up every time I hear that name now?
but I mean
That's not cool. Is that
he's-
considering bullying?
yeah,
I'm bullying him?
but he is being the textbook definition of a sucker. He is
I
such
don't know
a
what soccer is.
chump because what he's doing is he was married to Kim for all these years, which, to be honest,
You gave me a card that said I'm a sucker for you. Does that mean that's
that
bad?
means I'm gullible. You can get away with anything you want with me. Anyway, what he's doing, he was married to Kim. She left him because I'm assuming, based on his behavior in public, that he's just exhausting to be around because he's someone
He has mental issues.
and he
That's
refuses
no
to,
joke.
to be medicated. He refuses to get any kind of help to control it, or at least that's the way it looks. I don't know. I'm not there.
But
he's
I
out
thought
there
he
in
was
public.
under treatment.
Yeah, well, apparently he doesn't take his meds when he's in album mode.
Oh,
Which is
really?
funny because all the time you see all these crazy outbursts is when he's working on albums and he stops taking his meds.
Oh.
So my problem with this guy is that he's out there sucking his own dick, calling himself a genius. He's the greatest that ever lived. And he acts like this because his wife left him because he was probably being a dick. And it's like now he's out there trying to harass her in public, putting all that stuff out in public, saying, "Oh, well, she's trying to take my kids from me." He's like, "Well, maybe she should. Look at the way you're acting.
You're not safe to be around."
Yeah, you're a danger to yourself and possibly our kids.
But isn't that something that is established in the divorce, something like that, that he has to be under treatment in order to get close to them?
Their divorce is not final yet because he's giving her the runaround and making her jump through hoops to get all the paperwork.
That's crazy.
Maybe that's why she try to get a law degree so she can divorce him and get it all taken care of herself. Maybe, but
that was not the reason why she went through law
I'm joking, but I can't stand this fucking guy. I'm sorry.
I know you said that long time ago.
Stand him, and I haven't. It pisses me off because when he first popped, when he was
really
big,
liked him.
I really did. I really liked his first two albums, but to see a grown man act like this is just so
Baby, but the thing is that
irritating.
I think you're setting the standard wrong because he's a sick person.
But here's the problem. Here's my problem is that he's rich and he's out there. He surrounds himself with yes men. Nobody that's going to check him.
I don't think no one cares enough about him to actually help him get the help or, I don't know, like try to talk him into getting the help he needs.
I think maybe his wife might have done that.
Yeah, but it
and
didn't
who's
work.
to say that he doesn't have anybody like that or that he didn't run them off for doing exactly that?
That is true.
You don't know. But my problem is everybody wants to...
His mom passed away, right?
Yeah, and they say he lost it after that. But my problem is that there's so many people just constantly making excuses for this kind of behavior. You should call it out, no matter who it's in, whether or not you like his music.
You need help, get the help.
I'm not even knocking the guy's music. I'm knocking his behavior as a human being, as a grown man.
He needs to get help.
Like,
absolutely.
I can't stand someone with such an overinflated ego like that. Like, oh, I'm a designer. It's like your clothes literally make the people look like bums. Like a fucking bum walking down the runway.
But Kim Kardashian was empowering that. She was wearing his clothes. She was after the money too.
Isn't she richer than him at this point?
At this point, I don't know. At the beginning, no.
She's got money.
I know. But when she started dating him, he had more than her.
I just can't. And then he's sending all his little minions online after Pete Davidson.
Oh
shout out to Pete Davidson.
I mean, like the guy.
Such a dopey looking dude, and
he's doing good.
I'm telling you, he's
now I want
campaigning for the Stickman Hall of Fame.
Don't you want to be friends with him? Like I want to see his personality.
I don't even.
Maybe
feel
he's a very nice, cool person, and that's why he has all these amazing ladies next to him.
I don't even like. It's not even like I'm some big Pete Davidson fan or something. I don't even particularly. It's not that I dislike him, but I don't actively like him.
Does he have stand-up comedy shows and stuff like that?
He does a little bit.
We should totally go see him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious.
But I don't. I have no special affinity for Pete Davidson, but it's like, you know, clearly your ex-wife moved on, Kanye, and then you're out there and you're talking so much shit, and then you go out there and you start dating these girls to try to. For the whole thing with Julia Fox, they're already broken up, and she said he wanted to make it super public, and she should flaunt the relationship, do all this stuff. It's like you're such a chump. You're such a fucking cornball.
He's sick, babe. You know what's another thing he was posting about? Kris Jenner. She's not Jenner anymore, right?
Yeah, it's Kris Jenner still, right?
She's still Jenner?
That's what she goes by, as far as I know.
She was dating this guy that they broke up, and he started going off about the relationship. That Chris is such a hustler. I respect her, but I never trusted this guy, and I'm so happy he's out of the family. Like, so are you. Like, so are
But
you.
why?
But
Here's
why going off on that?
I mean, I guess to a certain extent,
I think he's obsessed.
well, I think it's like, to me, putting all your public or your personal like dealings and family life out in the public eye is really lame. But at the same time, that's exactly what made the Kardashians famous in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you can't really say anything because that is just par for the course. But
I just
I
think
don't.
he is still in love with Kim. He's losing it. He's a sick person and he needs help.
I'm
That's
tired of
it.
seeing people hail someone with severe mental illness as a genius. Like, no, maybe you're just a crazy person at this point. I know people don't like to use that word, but
That's not nice, babe.
you know what?
That's not a nice term.
Because I'm sitting here trashing him, I'm gonna use a not nice term. Like, you're acting like a giant fucking asshole. And I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like him, and I
Moving
don't like
on.
him. What else? Oh, did you hear the Queen died? Queen of England died.
I didn't hear that.
So there was a big thing, like Hollywood Unlocked came out. Jason Lee is the guy that runs Hollywood Unlocked, the TMZ type site, and they said they reported that the Queen Elizabeth of England died this week. So like all like the British news were like, "What? We have nothing about that. This guy's crazy. This is all." So they made this big stink. It's like, no, but you can't confirm that she died. He's like, well, I have sources saying she's died. Like, do you have anything confirming that she's still alive? And they're like,
No.
because now nobody's heard from her, nobody's seen her because she had COVID.
But
So
that's
she's
like
been
a normal thing. You don't see her every day.
no. But the thing is that he called them out. He was like, well, you can't confirm that she's still alive, and I stand by my information.
Show me proof.
Yeah. So there was literally like think pieces and like the Guardian saying it's like, well, clearly this guy's probably wrong or lying, but at the same time we can't officially
I
disprove
know.
it. So
We
like,
can
we
send
have
you a
to,
selfie.
we have to like start preparing. Like, what if he ends up being right? And the slim chance that he is, like, this
I know.
some like gossip rag.
I'm pretty sure there were reporters trying to get in
Yeah.
London just to prove.
Well, now they're saying it's like he was saying he got the information from this guy who was like a guest at somebody's wedding, and they were talking about it, and then some other.
Do you think they pay for those type of information?
Oh my God, yes.
Like a lot of money?
Yes, they do, because it's very valuable to them. That's their bread and
Mhm.
butter. Anyway, so they're saying now that maybe this guy actually misheard him, because at the same time that they were getting this information about the Queen being dead, they're reporting that one of the members of the band Queens of the Stone Age passed away.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
And
That's
like,
terrible.
that was reported like in the same hour. So like, oh, not the Queen, the Queens of the Stone Age.
I think you missed a little information in that one.
I mean, I give credit to Jason Lee. He was really sticking to his guns, but it's like I think you might be wrong.
What if
at this
she's
point.
dead for real?
Well, I mean, the reports now is that the Prime Minister Boris Johnson spoke to her, and he's like, yeah, she's very much alive. But they also don't want to make such a big deal out of it because, like, all right, say she's still alive and the guy's wrong. Do they have to do this now every time somebody says the Queen died? So they don't want to set a precedent that would be.
I know, and I feel like
bad.
it will happen a lot.
Yeah, it's just funny. That's a big one to get wrong.
I know, so messed up.
Yeah.
But they're killing people all the time. Have you like Facebook?
Well, that's
like
Facebook.
so die and
Yeah.
they don't die, and
But Hollywood Unlocked is like, I mean,
it's more serious.
yeah.
Yeah.
They actually have scoops that they break and stuff like that.
Okay.
All right, what else? Oh, have you heard World War III is right around the corner?
I've heard that. I've actually seen posts of people buying stuff, like taking money out to have cash in hand, getting lots of water, toilet paper, and groceries like canned food, like a natural disaster coming our way.
Mm-hmm.
Because they truly believe
People
that.
here?
Yep.
Oh, I
I've
didn't hear
seen
that
it.
before. I thought you talked
I've
about like
seen it
overseas.
actually in Instagram, people saying like we have to get ready, blah blah blah, and people actually going and getting all these things.
So
There's people like really think that it's gonna happen.
So several
I
things.
don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And just for people that have not been paying attention to the news, Russia invaded the country of Ukraine.
That is so sad because I've seen so videos and images, and it breaks my heart every time.
They've also, I mean, there's been a civil war going on in parts of Ukraine for like 8 years now. Since 2014, they had all that turmoil, and then Russia ended up annexing the Crimean Peninsula, which is like in the southern tip of Ukraine, I believe, if my geography is correct.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole thing is always that, like, ever since the fall of the Soviet Union, like most Russian politicians and leaders and anybody affiliated with Putin, certainly, there's like a very strong sense of nationalism where they to them, like Putin even said it in the speech that he was given, that the fall of the Soviet Union was like the greatest tragedy in world history, which is whatever. But like they very much are nationalistic. They want to kind of
They're communist.
well, communists or not, they really want to
But
revitalize the
do
Soviet
you
Empire.
know that or you didn't know that?
Well, I mean, the country as it stands right now is
Putin
not
is
a
totally
communist country.
Putin is communist.
Well, he might be. I'm
And
not
he's trying
arguing
to
against
get
that.
the union, the Soviet Union back together.
Yeah.
That's his main goal. Now, I honestly, maybe it's very ignorant or naive on me, but I thought at this point, just invading a country like that, this is mine and I want it and it
Mhm.
has to be mine. That to me, like, I cannot believe we're still doing this.
There's much smarter people than you and me that make a living on geopolitics that thought the exact same thing as you.
Oh.
This nobody was ready for this because there was a lot of intelligence coming out of the U.S., like the CIA, like the government and
Mm-hmm.
military sources. Where they're saying like Putin's getting ready to launch some kind of invasion. There's a lot of people like, yeah, you guys don't exactly have the best track record, so we don't really believe it. And it's 2022
Like,
now.
we really need to
Yeah, we're
go
really
to
doing
that
this,
extreme.
and he actually did it. And
He
there's no way that this works out for Russia.
and this is just hurting
Civilians.
civilians
Yes,
on
100%. It's
both
gonna hurt.
sides.
Well, it's
On
it's
both
really gonna
sides.
hurt Russian people. Obviously, it's hurting Ukrainian people because they're being invaded by a hostile foreign power. But
And
it's
the
just really
image
hurting. It's gonna hurt the Russian people.
you've seen the videos.
Of
People
what?
just saying goodbyes to kids,
Mm.
sending kids away. Uh, Oh my God, that breaks my heart. I cannot. I really, really had a hard time going through those images and videos and all this.
Mm-hmm.
We are doing this right now. These people are suffering right now, and we cannot do anything about it.
It's complicated because Ukraine is not a member of NATO, the North
I
Atlantic
know.
Treaty Organization.
La
So,
OTAN, I think
and it
it's La OTAN. I don't know. I don't know
what
what it
is that?
stands for. La OTAN.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
It's an organization. I'm pretty sure it's what you're saying.
NATO.
Mhm.
Oh. And the whole point of NATO is
Mhm.
it's kind of started during the height of the Soviet Empire to kind of act as a check. All these European countries that are close to the Eastern Europe, close to Russia, like so they would all be allied together. They would basically protect one another in
Mhm.
case of Soviet aggression.
And because they're not
And
part of
because
it, we
Ukraine
cannot
is
help.
not where we have no.
And why didn't why did their shows to be out?
I don't know.
That's
I mean, part of it was I don't think that we really pushed very hard for them to be in. I don't know. My history's a little hazy on the
mm-hmm.
specifics of NATO, but I know there's a lot of other countries, like smaller countries that are members, that every time a new member joined, that was viewed. I mean, if you're Russia, that looks like other countries lining up against you.
Okay.
So I get it. Like every time a new country joined, that looks like we're acting a little
Well, we don't
aggressively.
trust this Putin guy.
Of course, and we shouldn't trust Russia. I mean,
Why are we gonna be
even before,
not
but even before Putin,
trying to
if you
cover
look all
things?
these countries, why wouldn't they want to be
But
allied against Russia?
you know what really upset the life out of me?
What's that?
What do you think our beautiful Cuba did?
Oh, of course they were on the side of Russia.
In the newspaper, grandma newspaper, the headline was Cuba and Russia stand together in finding peace.
Do you know why?
Peace!
Do you know why?
Ay, Dios mío.
Because Russia now, they said they were going to forgive a bunch of debts that Cuba owed
Of course.
Russia.
But not only that, Russia and Cuba were always like
Yeah, they
this.
were always tight.
But I saw an interview, not an interview. Biden came out to do like a press thing, and he was asked, "What are you planning on doing?" And he said, "We're
Sanctions.
gonna do sanctions." And he was
He
like,
was very clear, no troops
mm-hmm.
on the ground whatsoever.
And he was very pressured by the press because they were asking like, "This is it? That's the max you're gonna
Mhm.
do?" And he said, "Yep."
No, most people don't want to be in another war. We literally just pulled out of Afghanistan.
I know.
That last year?
Like part of me thinks, and part of me thinks, okay, it's enough. Why are we always involved in like we're the superheroes of the world? No, we're not. We're just another country. Why are we gonna get involved in every problem that the world has? And then, as soon as I'm thinking like that, I'm thinking, why am I so selfish? If it was my country, I would want someone to help me. I would want someone to be there fighting with me, especially if we need the help. So I would love for us to be able to do something for Ukraine. You know what I mean? I think it's unfair, and I think we should do something about it. And if I was in the army, I would want to go and help them.
I mean, I get wanting to help the people. I mean, it's terrible for them. I mean, they just announced that they're banning men from the ages of 18 to like 60 leaving the country because they expect them all to join the fight. They're going to launch an insurgency. You ever hear the boxers Vladimir Klitschko and Vitaly Klitschko? They're famous Ukrainian boxers, big mountains of men. But the older brother Vitaly Klitschko was actually the mayor of Kiev. And him and his brother Vladimir, they were both professional boxers, not soldiers. But they said, like, we're going to stay here and we're going to fight.
And the president is there fighting.
I give that guy a lot. Zelensky. I
I
don't know his first name.
really
But
admire that.
yeah, he's not
behind
a
desk.
No.
He's right out there fighting for his people.
That's where he should
and I
be.
admire that. But not every president does that.
No, you're not.
So that's why I admire that. And there's a lot of people staying free will.
You see, they have like old ladies with like
AK-47s. I know. And they're sending their kids, and sometimes they're sending their wives or mothers, and they're staying behind. There was this soldier that he blew up himself to blow up. He was trying to blow up a bridge. The only way to do that is blowing up himself. And he did that to avoid them crossing. That's a hero. And he was very young too. He was like in his 25, not even 30s.
Yeah. The thing that pretty much everybody is kind of on the same page about is like, we don't understand what Putin is thinking, why you would do that, because it's just so foolish. And if you look at history, you look at Russia's track records of these kind of like invasions. They had the Russo-Japanese thing, I think it was like 1904 or something like that. They tried this whole thing where they were going to invade Japan, I believe, if my recollection serves me, which somebody might send an Instagram message saying like, you sound
full
like a
of shit
asshole. You sound like a smacked ass. But there was a complete failure. There was like Belgium, I believe that was in like 1934, which was a total failure. I mean, effectively gained nothing.
Honestly.
And then they have Afghanistan in 1979, which was like 20 plus years, and all it did was help speed up the collapse of the Soviet Union.
Okay. Ukraine is not prepared to fight Russia on his own.
No.
What is going to end happening is that they're going to take over.
Yeah, they're going to occupy.
I don't think they're going to stay there. I think he's not going to be over until he gets back the Soviet Union. And I think that's the goal, and I think he's going to achieve it.
Well, here's the thing. They tried,
and that's sad.
But keep in mind, they tried this with I'm telling you, all these other places, they tried to do the same thing, and every time it failed. Look at what happened in Afghanistan.
That's my opinion. I'm not professional. I cannot tell you it's going to happen. But if it happens, you heard it here first. I'm sure I'm not the only one thinking that.
Listen, anything's possible, but I don't think that there's no winning this thing for Russia. Even if they win, they still lose.
I'm going to say something.
Go ahead.
We have to stop this. We need to stop this.
What? This Soviet expansion?
We are gonna be eaten alive by communists, and you don't want that. Where are we gonna go next? Where are we moving?
You want to go to Spain? They're socialist over there.
They're communist over there.
You know,
I'm not gonna survive there either.
This all lends pretty nicely into.
They're not communist.
No.
But
I'm glad you see the distinction.
Yes, but.
Big but.
There's a lot of people confused there. They don't know what they're playing with.
There's a lot of people confused everywhere.
I know.
So what I was saying is that this actually is a perfect transition into what the main topic is for the episode. I know last time we were here, we talked about, we're going to do an episode just talking about our different political beliefs. So I wrote it up as a legit main topic, and this is the question I'm going to pose to you. Is it possible to sustain a marriage when two people have opposing political beliefs?
That's a very tough question.
Okay.
And it's very, very difficult. Because I'm going to tell you for everything that I've going through, like thinking about it, talking about it, all these things, right? I believe that if we are truly completely opposite, a marriage cannot survive.
I think you're right. If we're truly opposite on our beliefs, you're right.
For example, doesn't work. There was a point in time that I thought that I thought I discovered that you were a communist, and my world was like crumbling down.
When was this?
And I felt so betrayed and disappointed and like trapped, and oh my God, this is not happening to me, and how did I make this mistake? Like all of this in one point.
When in the relationship was this?
When you told me that you were voting for Bernie Sanders. Okay?
The first time or the second time?
I don't remember what time it was.
Because at the beginning, that was the 2016 election.
Let me try to walk you through my mind. So I'm here at one point thinking, Dios mío, this guy is a effing communist. How in the world am I going to explain this to my parents, to my kid? How am I going to, like, what? Why? Why did I do this? Okay? But I talked to you about it and I explained, like, okay, let's sit down. Let's go through the emotions so you can understand what I'm coming from, because you thought that I was very Republican and very, what is the word?
Conservative.
And you didn't like that either. Like that to you is the same effect that I have when I hear someone is a communist.
No, it's not as nearly as strong. Not even close.
Because my parents, Anyways.
Yeah.
So
it comes from a very different place.
Okay, so we sat down and we started this conversation, and I was talking to him and I said, okay, let me explain what I went through in Cuba. And I'm going to talk about my experience, and I'm not going to talk to you about what my dad went through. I'm just going to tell you what I went through, because they're different experience from his generation to mine. And I think that helped you see things a little different.
It gave me a different perspective.
That I think that helped us
that I didn't have before.
And that helped to open up maybe your eyes a little more to what I was coming from. Right?
Yeah, but I also think that you hear certain words and your mind then goes way far this way. But I ask
questions.
You ask questions, but your mind is already going a certain direction. So you extrapolate too many things from one little thing. You make a mountain out of a molehill.
Exactly. And we had this conversation. I said, listen, communists, if you're a communist and you are in your 20s, I totally understand that, because that tells me what a good heart you have.
Yeah.
Because in theory, it's an amazing thing. Who doesn't want free healthcare? Who doesn't want that we are all equal? Fairness. Who doesn't want that? You have to be a very evil person if you don't want that. You know what I mean? But now, if you're a communist when you're in your 30s, then that's a different thing. Or when you're in your 50s, 60s, that's telling me you're a stupid person. Period. Because you have to do a little more research. You, at that point in your life, you know a little more about the world. You know what I mean? And I feel there's a lot of people that have this concept of the theory, and they feel like this is the true thing that will never happen here in this country. That's impossible. And it could happen. The moment you're open to that, yes, that could happen here, like it happened in other places, because they don't come at you honest and open. Listen, this is what we're going to do, and everybody's going to be like this. No, they're going to trick you into it.
That's the story of Cuba, is that there was a revolution to overthrow Batista, who was like a cruel dictator type guy. but it was never billed as a communist revolution.
And that
And then
happened
all
to
of a sudden,
Venezuela too.
yeah, they came in, finally got power. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And they're like, okay, we're doing that. We're communists now. Like, and you can't say anything about it.
And if
you do, dead.
And if you really go back to history, you see newspapers where Fidel was talking and videos that he said, we are not communists. That's a lie. That's because it's rumors that started happening. So he said it out of his mouth.
Yeah.
2 years after, he's the one saying, yes, we're communists. So whatever. Venezuela went through the same thing. We Cubans told Venezuela, listen, this is going to happen to you guys. What did they say? No, we are not Cuba. We are a big country. We have petróleo. We have a lot of things that you guys didn't have. We're bigger. We're stronger. That will never happen to us. If it tries to happen, we'll stop it right away. Look at them now. And like that, there's a lot of other stories in the world.
Okay, but
that's not the point.
Yeah,
the point is that
how you come to your
when I'm talking to him and I understand that this was not your idea, then everything changed. Then I was like, woof, what a relief.
Dodged a bullet.
Like, oh Lord, now we're talking. Like, if we come to a point that it's okay to disagree and respect each other's ideas, is one thing. But if we're completely opposite, I don't think that would have worked.
Well, I think the thing that works is when you trust that the person that you're with, that you're having that conversation with, is being honest about the way they feel and what their beliefs are, and not trying to, the way when you argue with somebody like you work with about it. Sometimes they're just repeating talking points. They want to win. They're not arguing in good faith. Like if they're wrong and they know they're wrong, like they might not admit it because they don't want to act. They don't want to lose. They don't want to lose face. So like with me and you, I feel like we can be honest and we can disagree on things, but at the end of the day, the things that we disagree on aren't things that challenge how I view you as a person, like what your values are. Like if we have disagreements on the method to achieve a certain thing, that's fine. But as long as we trust that we want the right things, you know what I mean? Like we both, like for me, the guiding principle for me politically is fairness. I think things should be fair. And where things aren't fair, I think there needs to be change. So like, and we talked about Bernie Sanders. I like Bernie Sanders because he was talking about the Nordic model as far as when he talks about democratic socialism. He always points to places like Denmark, Finland, all these systems.
That term is wrong. And I show you to you in books. It was not just my idea. I show it to you in books that they're using that term wrong. That's what I didn't like about him, because he knows what he's doing. You're going to tell me that I know the term that I got from my book, and he doesn't know that? Why is he not calling it by the name? That doesn't tell me that he's going with good faith.
Yeah, well, I understand how, especially someone in your position, hears that word and automatically sets off every warning bell in your head.
Like it should be.
But also the thing, too, like when we met and like you told me that, oh, Jesus.
What just happened?
I was trying to lower this thing and there it is. You didn't tell me you were a Republican, but you told me you were like, you lean right. At first, I'm like,
I'm always going to go right, babe.
Well, here's the thing, though. If you look at it on a case by, like, situation by situation thing, you're not actually that conservative. You're not that far right.
See our colors?
I know, right? That's why you didn't want to switch sides.
Yeah, I'm never gonna do.
Also,
never going on that.
Yeah, we're on different sides than we were last time. Yeah. Because I reclaimed my original side of the bed.
I'm on the right.
And I'm on the left. That's really funny. Although if you're watching, I'm on the right.
But this is not wrong.
While we're sitting, I'm on the left. But yeah, I'm totally derailed now. I don't think you're really that right wing. Like you have more, your ideas fall in line more with like traditional family values, which gets lumped in with right wing ideologies. But as far as you're all about helping people, like you're pro-choice, you're somewhat religious, like you're spiritual. You're not a big holy roller, but
I believe in God. I don't believe necessarily in religion. I think that religion is something more that we humans build.
Yeah.
out of our own ideas and stuff to control people, and you know what I mean.
Yes.
I know I have a very weird way of thinking. It's not the normal, it's not the usual. Because I do believe in God, but I don't go to church like that. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
used to go a lot, but there's things that I don't agree with.
Mm.
And I believe in God, I prayed, but I have my own ways. You know what I
That's
mean?
fair. And I don't knock. I mean, I was raised in like the Catholic Church
Me
and stuff,
too.
but I don't believe in any of that stuff. I don't follow any of that stuff. But I also think that just because you're someone who doesn't believe in a higher power doesn't mean that should stop you from being a good person and doing the right thing for your fellow human being.
But I do think you believe in a higher power.
No, for me, I'd say whatever, all the stuff they teach in church, I think it's 99% bullshit, aside from a few like morality lessons and things like that.
But
But I
do
also
you really?
recognize that who the hell am I? I don't know. I've never been there. I don't know. I recognize there could be. There
I
very well could be. I'm saying I don't know.
I
That's all I'm
think
saying.
you don't know, but you believe there is something higher.
Aliens.
Not maybe not a
There's
god,
aliens.
maybe whatever you want to call it, but you do believe. And I'm gonna show you proofs in the next episode.
I actually
I
believe.
have something you wrote,
Oh,
and
that was. Oh, stop.
you in that piece that you wrote, you are saying that you do believe in something higher and bigger than us.
See what I
And that
said
made
when
me
she takes
cry.
one little thing and
That
she
made me
runs with
cry.
it?
That made me cry. It was very emotional to me knowing that you believe in something. That made me really happy
I
inside.
know, but I give you an
I'm
inch
gonna
and you want to go a mile.
I'm gonna show you proof.
That's where Tyler gets it from.
I'm gonna show you
That's where
proof.
Tyler gets it from.
Okay. Anyways, the thing is that I thought he was a communist. Knowing that we sat down and had a conversation, I realized that he's not a communist, that there was a lot of things that he didn't know. And I was able to explain to him what I was coming from. That changed your perspective, and that changed your idea of Bernie Sanders. It did. The
Yeah,
second
it
time
did.
around, first time, when
Because
was
it
it?
makes you pay closer attention to the word choices that he uses. I still think
And
that
what
there's a
about the time that he
oh, the
said
whole thing
something
about
about
Castro where
that? You
he kind
couldn't
of
find an
bent himself
explanation,
in a pretzel to avoid criticizing Castro.
and that said something to you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, there's a lot of people out there who are like apologists for the Cuban regime, which blows my mind.
What does that word mean?
Apologists
Uh-huh.
means they bend over backwards to make excuses for them and to say, oh, all the stuff that happens to Cuba is the U.S.'s fault.
And what
Instead
do
of
you think that does to us?
yeah, well, I mean,
That hurt us.
it's hurting, it's insulting, really.
That was.
And the funny thing to me is that it's never a Cuban person that's making apologies for Castro and them. It's always somebody who like doesn't live there, who's not Cuban, who is just like some crazy lefty.
That
And
makes me
it's
so
rarely
upset.
ever pushback on those people because most people here just don't know because it doesn't affect them.
I
I mean, I can't
understand.
fault anybody for not being
I
informed about it because
understand.
it has no bearing on most people's lives here.
Absolutely. And I don't expect anything.
Mm-hmm.
I do expect that if you don't know what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
shut the F up because
Well,
you're hurting others.
keep in mind too
Because
that
it's upsetting and it
mo-
shouldn't be.
the people that are really bending over backwards to make those excuses are usually, they lean communists themselves. So they're kind of just on that team.
That's why I don't like it.
Well, that's fair. But what was I gonna say? Oh, like
What
for
do you think? Do you think if we are completely opposite, this will
well, yeah,
work?
I think if we really were opposite, it wouldn't work. But the
Mm-hmm.
fact is, we're not, and people get too caught up in this whole left right thing
Mm-hmm.
that it deceives you and it gives you false ideas about who a person is. Like for me, like I remember, like do you remember when you're young when you first kind of start developing any kind of political
Mm-hmm.
opinions?
Mm-hmm.
I remember there being like the really religious, like the church people who want to censor things and want to say, oh, like I remember when I was really little when they were like trying to ban NWA and like gangster rap and stuff like that. And I remember that being like, well, why do they get to decide what anybody else can listen to? Like, if you don't like
That's
it,
not fair.
why are you watching it?
Mm-hmm. Just
You
move
know.
along. If it's not hurting anybody, move along.
So that
But
was,
you know,
but that was always, like, that was the kind of idealism that kind of guided me as I grew older. Like, I
mm-hmm.
was really loved George Carlin. Like, that was one of my, still is one of my favorite comedians of all time. And I showed just some of his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He was a comedian, but he was a very smart guy. Like, and he made a lot of really strong points that are kind of hard to argue with.
Mm-hmm.
And it was stuff like that that kind of gave me my foundation. And I really don't think I've changed much from it, but I think that people nowadays have shifted where it's like, groups tend to change and
Mm-hmm.
party ideologies flip back and forth. And I think what's thought of as the left now has taken on so many behaviors of what the right used to be. Like I don't like conservatism. I don't like religious dogma and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's too many people now that call themselves leftists or whatever they want to be known as, but they start treating things like as if it's religious dogma. You can't question certain things. You can't talk to certain people. You can't do like why? Like why can't we
Mm-hmm.
talk? Why can't we ask questions? Like
Exactly.
that's what I don't like.
But what I thought, I came to this country when I was what, 15.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad came here and he always said we're Republicans, we're Republicans. This is what I was hearing, right? Didn't understand what it meant or what that title means
Mm-hmm.
or all the things that comes after that. To me, it was simply that this side goes against communists
Yeah.
and the other side is communist. So you have to pick two. I didn't even know there were more choices. You know what I
Well,
mean?
it really isn't in this country.
Well, liberals or
Well,
independents,
liberal is
whatever.
Democratic and conservative
What
is
about there's
Republican.
something?
Independent. There's actually
Okay,
most of the country is registered unaffiliated, so you're not a
okay,
Democrat or Republican.
that's me.
It's me as well.
However, I kept listening to this and I said, okay, yeah, of course, I'm gonna go right. I'm never gonna go left.
Because when you're young,
And
you
I
trust
thought
your
that was
parents.
the only thing. But I've never actually went and became part of any parties.
Mm-hmm.
I said to myself, I'm gonna vote and I'm gonna go with what I feel is right. If you are left, but you're telling me things that make sense and I'm able to trust what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna vote for you. My dad will kill me, but I'm gonna vote for you. Now, if you're right and you make sense and I believe what you're saying, I'm gonna go for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't care what party. I'm just trying to do what I think is best and what I feel is fair. I'm pro-choice. I believe in social services, which is something big.
Like welfare,
Like welfare,
assistance to.
free healthcare. Now, that I think is possible to achieve it in this country
You hear your dog outside?
without being without turning into communist or this idea, blah blah blah. I don't think so. I think people that are promoting the social services is just to gain our vote, but it's never gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I believe today. That it
Time
could
out.
change tomorrow, maybe.
Time out. Can we ask them to pull the dog inside?
I think it's inside, all right.
No, of course. Okay, so we're not going to cut out. I was going to cut that whole thing because the dog is in the backyard barking like an asshole. Which I can't stand this goddamn dog.
I hate when you talk to him. I hate when you talk about the dog like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I love the dog, and that hurts my feelings.
All right, I'll stop.
Thank you.
See, that's all it takes. Everybody, you don't know how to avoid arguments? Look at that. I said, okay, you know what? I'll stop.
Yes, and he does it. Give him 10 minutes, he will do it again. Not cool.
I can't tell him to get rid of the baby. You hear the baby screaming now?
The thing is that he does that when he's extremely happy.
I
That's
know.
the way he communicates.
Well, maybe that's our cue to get out of here.
Yeah, let's do that. We're going on a date night.
Yes, we are.
How exciting. We're going to the city to try this Spanish place that I love very much.
Which we did mention this as a Dame la Luz a long time ago.
Yes,
we
long time
ever
ago.
there.
So we're going to a place that I found out through Instagram. It's called, what is it called?
Sweets Laboratory.
Supposed to have, it's just a dessert bar. And I love dessert. So we're going to give it a try. We'll give you guys some more details next time. And we'll recommend it if it's good. If not, we're not ever going to talk about it.
Yeah, but as far as recommending things, why don't you
Dame la luz. I'm going to...
Just dame la luz. You first.
You love that?
I love it.
Okay, so I'm really into this show, which I finished it already, Inventing Anna. It's a good show.
It's on Netflix.
Because it's based in a true story. It's about this socialite that she fools everybody because she makes them believe that she is a very wealthy person. I'm not going to give you all the details because the point is that you start doubting, does she has money or she doesn't? How is she so smart, so prepare? How can she fit in this world if she didn't have any money or she didn't come from money? So it's just good. I liked it. And just give it a try and let me know what you think.
Yeah, it's a girl, the little blonde girl from Ozark is like the lead character.
She's a very good actress.
She's a good actress, but the character she's trying to do, again, the accents, she's playing like a Russian person trying to imitate a German accent.
Can you do a Russian accent?
Possibly, but is very difficult if you're not around many Russian people.
But what about a German one?
I could do like a cartoonish German one.
Go.
Yeah, it's very different because when you're going, I don't think they switch the W's and the V's. Yeah, we are doing this thing, and we will see you there. And later I will go to my home in Worms, in Germany, and we will have a big party.
Worms?
Worms. The city of Worms.
That's Worms?
It's spelled Worms, but it's
that's where Elena lives.
Yeah, that's what I thought you would catch on.
Oh, that's why I was confused. Your Worms or Worms? You're good.
Hey, thank you.
Good. What do you think my accent is from? If you hear me and you don't know me, and you hear me, what do
I knew it's some kind of Hispanic accent.
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's bullshit.
Well, no, you're asking me.
Bullshit. You don't know that?
What are you talking about?
You know that I've never, every time I encounter a client or anything, they always tell me, where are you from? You have this Eastern European accent. There are people that have said that you're Russian.
People asked me if I was Russian.
I like that accent.
Anyway.
Okay, go.
For me, I'm going to pick the show Raised by Wolves. It's on HBO. They just came out with season 2. Although I did just start season 1.
You're watching it without me.
I just started yesterday. I didn't think you would like it. It's super weird.
But is it like fantasy-like?
It's super weird, sci-fi, like
I don't like
dystopian future stuff. It's very
dark,
weird.
Gloomy?
Yeah, dark and gloomy for
Not
sure.
my thing.
It's literally about like in the future, these like androids are trying to like raise human kids on like a different planet.
But do you like it?
I'm
Why
intrigued.
are you recommending it?
Because it's interesting and it's weird. And
intriguing?
I like weird things. You know that.
I know. I am not into that. I don't like that. I like murderers. I like true story crime things. Mm-hmm. That's my thing. Like FBI profiling. I would have loved to be an FBI profiler. Like that would have been the best thing for me. But I realized that too late. Like I don't want to go back to school now to do that.
You wanted to go look at pictures of murder scenes?
I don't think FBI will hire me now because I'm too old for that and no experience. But if I would have a chance to go back, I would have done that and work for the FBI. I love the FBI.
Would have been cool.
Right? You imagine you marry me and I'm an FBI profiler.
I'd be super guarded about whatever I tell you.
Right?
I feel like you're always analyzing me.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to do that. Maybe I will not get the job in the FBI, but I could analyze you.
Well, you got hooks now in the FBI.
He's not going to help me.
I know. Let's get out of here. We got a date. We got to leave.
Yes.
All right, guys.
Pineapple.
Thanks for pineapples. Pineapples. That's our safe word. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. And I love you, baby.
I love you, baby.
All right. Bye-bye.
That's all, folks.